Hello everyone, this is a new Brick Valley Rail video, and today we are looking at a slightly new obsession. So obviously it's been a fair few years since I've been doing model railway videos, but I've recently been scouring eBay and I've always taken a liking to the advanced passenger train, and I just went and bought one, and that sort of led on to buying another one. And what I've ended up with is 3 complete sets and an extra power car. I did have an extra power car before, which was that one on the end there, but now I have all of these. So my most recent purchase is this Intercity apt here, which is the black ends version. As you can see, the other ones are yellow ends. The black ends one I believe is rarer. It came in a 5-car box with no track. The yellow ones normally, I believe, came with the track as well. I think you could get variants of both with or without track, but the yellow ones came as separate, just a 5-car bundle, no box. The black one came with the box. I've got no pantograph on the black ends one, but I'm planning on using the pantograph from the spare car on there to use. This one runs very well. One of the yellow car ones runs well and the other one doesn't, but it does show signs of life in the motor. I think it's this one shows signs of life but doesn't quite work yet, so we'll be taking the body off of that soon and getting that working. This one does work quite well. This power car has no life in it at all, so I will try and get that working too. But of course there's no other set for that one yet, because these two here are part of this set. The only reason it's over here is because this particular coach has a wheel fallen off, so I would look for a wheel or another coach or something like that. Or as you can see, they're lined up in fours at the moment. If I had another end car and intermediate coach for both, I would actually have 4 complete sets, which I'm not entirely sure I needed 4 complete sets. I didn't really need this many, but I got a bit carried away, and this is what I've ended up with. So if I just split these here, these are all City of Derby ones. All of the apt ones are, as you can see here. Well, I say as you can see, you can't really. They see just about City of Derby with the crest and everything on there. All of them were made by Hornby in the 1980s. All of them were the same name and the same numbers, 370001 and 002 at the other end. This black end set is actually in very remarkable condition. Very happy with it. As you can see around the windows, they're actually quite up together. If we look at this is the first set I bought, and this had as you can see silver paint on the vents, which it shouldn't have, and around the windows it had been painted silver, and some of the other windows have been touched up, as you can see closer in there. Not the worst job ever, but of course you can see that it has been painted, so not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, anything can be put back to how it was, but this one here is has not been tampered with. This is a original one, just needs a bit of a clean up, as you can see, but I don't think any of them have ran for a while, apart from the one on the end, which had been just serviced once I bought it. But as you can see, yeah, the yellow ends one, same number as the black ends one, 370001, and again the power cars are the same name and everything. But I did say to myself I did want a yellow end and a black end, and that is exactly what I've done. So I will definitely be keeping this one and this one, and then I'll be making something out of this. Whether I'll keep that or not, I don't know, because I don't really need all of them. But as I say, you can easily get carried away with these. When you've been looking for something, you end up getting various things. These as well, they suffer from the roof pieces going missing. This one's actually got all of them, and so does that one, has all of them as well. This one's missing a couple, but this one, as you can see, is just missing all of them. Obviously they get played with. They are coming up to, I suppose, 35, 40 years old now, so they are getting that way. Obviously the pantographs have all been bent, and various ones are missing, but I'm very fortunate to have 3 out of 4 on here. So I've got that one, this one here, which is a little bit tarnished, but he's there, and this one as well, which is in good condition, so I will be using one of those for this one obviously. But if I make a 4th set, I may have to try and find another one, of which they do seem to go for stupid money on eBay, as a lot of older parts seem to go for. But that is how it is for collectors sort of things, I suppose. Another thing about the apt, I suppose, is that the part of the centenary that they're doing this year with Hornby, they're releasing the centenary edition, which is going to have, I believe, a 5-car or 7-car set, and then you can buy extra coaches, because with these you had to buy, I think it was 2 intermediates and cut them and join them together to make an extra coach, which would go in between the 2 here, and then you could extend it as long as you needed. And I think they had 2 of these as well for the extended ones. A lot of people have looked into conversions on them and have done similar things, but the new ones, I believe, are going to allow that from the start. The connectors obviously on these make it so that you can only attach it one way, because you can see it's got this big style connector here, and then on the other side is, if I bring this one up here, it's easier, it's got a smaller style connector that joins the back of the intermediate to the power car, and the power car's got the same on the other side, which joins the other intermediate, and then the ends obviously have nothing on, so it's by no means conventional for couplings. I quite like these big ones because they attach together quite easily. The little ones are a bit finicky because they're a bit flimsy, but they do work. I have tried a few of these power cars, obviously, on the layout. I say the layout, it is literally just a few bits of track which I connect up to the power, because at the moment we don't have a layout. We used to have one, which has been dismantled now, because I got into cars, which is why these have taken such a backseat for such a long time. But I've bought various other locomotives now, and so you may actually see some more videos come onto the channel fairly soon. And I would like to build a layout again one day, but at the minute the space and time is not on my side for doing that. But stay tuned, and I hopefully we'll get something together one day, whether that's in a matter of months or years, who knows. And to be honest, I'll probably end up getting more of these things, but I still keep looking on eBay for more things for these, because it's always useful to have spares and to find what good deals are coming up. If you want to know more about anything, then there's plenty of information on the apt. I think it's quite an interesting locomotive with a lot of history behind the real locomotive, as well as these. Obviously these have got the tilt action, which the wheels aren't even turning. This is just the coach on the bogies here. Because of the way they are, the clips allow all this movement, which is quite a good design, I think. And I don't know what design they're going to come up with for the new ones, but they're certainly going to cost a lot of money, so I imagine it's something quite complicated, much like the real locomotive, of course, which had a complicated tilting system, which did work, but it ultimately was a failed test, and the apt never really made it into mainstream use, because obviously they made it as a prototype for years and years, but 1983 I believe was the first test, and it didn't go well at all. They reintroduced it again with the black ends in 1986, and it lasted a while, but I believe as it goes, all the investors pulled out and everything, and they didn't want a failed project on their hands, so they just scrapped the locomotives. And obviously there's only one locomotive left now, one set with the black ends, which is I'm trying to remember where that is now. I think it's in Crewe, Heritage Works or something like that, and they've got the full locomotive there, which I believe they do tilt days and stuff as well, where you can see the tilting action of the real locomotive, which is obviously a complicated system, which I believe Alston bought in the end and used for the Pendolino, which is obviously a very successful locomotive now. So the apt was a very interesting locomotive. I recommend watching various videos, including InCity82's video on the apt. For example, when he bought his Hornby model, he did a bit of a background thing with that. I recommend watching that or reading up on it, because it is definitely a very interesting locomotive. Obviously a lot of them are, but this one, there's the failed project is quite a good one to look at, so I recommend that. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon.